Hello, my name is Kevin and welcome to the Love Decanters channel. So I'm going to continue on my top 10 saga. So this is my top 10 from the 19th century. Oh, this is top 10 from my own collection, that is. So it's not just like glass and everything, but stuff that I own that's my favourites. Okay, so as I said in the beginning of part 1 for the 18th century, I tried to do an overall top 10 and just failed miserably, and I'm still leaving out some of my preciouses by doing 3 top 10s. Yeah, you know how it is. You try, it's so hard because they're all your babies. But anyway, this is a bit of a cheat to start with because a couple of things literally just sneak over the border into the 19th century. And one of them will almost look familiar to the previous one. So with that said, let's get on and show you some glass. So this one looks very like the first one we looked at as the number 1 item in the 18th century top 10, because this too is by B. Edwards of Belfast. It too is a dip moulded decanter with 2 neck rings. It's got a different stopper. This has got a waffle stopper. That one had a still a pressed stopper, but this is a waffle one. Can you see? It's actually got vertical lines on this side, horizontal on this side, so it's like a little, so that would just be a little blob and someone go and squidge it and we'll press it out into that shape to make a little, what's called a waffle stopper. And it's got minimal fitting there, you can see, and minimal fitting there. So I have 10 Irish dip moulded decanters with this type of engraving on. So why these two? I mean, I have a whole bunch of other dip moulded ones, but I have 10 with this type of engraving on. And what makes this one special? So the other one, the Martha Clements one, is more of a personal one. I think I prefer that, and I bought that one first. This is a more recent buy. Now I've had it about 5 or 6 years, I think. But yeah, it's what's on it that's important. So this has the Irish harp with the crown over it. Also on the back of it, while you go around, you've got some leaves, some foliage, got some foliage on that side, and you've got the owner's initials. So that would be the man, that would be the lady. That's the way it normally works. Got a bit of dirt inside, I didn't realise that. Is that inside? Oh no, it just needs a wash. It's got something on it. Anyway, yeah. So this was another eBay purchase. The seller didn't know what they were selling. So let me explain. So I bought this as a Georgian decanter with an angel playing a harp. That was it. That was the whole description. So this is the Irish harp. It's got the crown over the top of it. This is a commemorative decanter, commemorating the Act of Union of 1800, which is why I said previously that this style of dip moulded decanter, normally you date them 1783 to 1800, but this one is definitely squeaking over the border. The Act was passed in 1800 and enacted in 1801, so it's going to be one of those 2 years most likely. So the Act of Union of 1800 created the United Kingdom by... so the United Kingdom was formed out of the Kingdom of Ireland and Great Britain and created a single country called United Kingdom. So yeah, so this is quite commemorating quite an important thing, really. Obviously some of that got rescinded back in 1922, I think. So most of Ireland went back to being, well, the Republic of Ireland as opposed to the Kingdom of Ireland. So, yeah, and what are the features so it's got, I said, B. Edwards of Belfast ones. You have 2 rings, so it's not a definite thing. But I have actually shared this picture of this with the Museum of Ulster, and they agree it's a B. Edwards of Belfast. The base, it's always like these Irish dip mouldy ones. They always have a pontil mark, and they have this bit here, and then some of this. These are varying levels. Sometimes in this bit here, you can see the name of the company pressed into it. I have some where you can vaguely see. Most of them you can't. Is there any sign of it at all? No. But yeah, lovely broken pontil. Then you've got this bit here and this. If it has like a star in the middle, with like a broken pontil in the middle of that, then it's a continental decanter, a continental soda glass decanter. But if it's like this with this gap, yeah, then it's an Irish one. I think some American ones like this as well, but if you're in the UK, it's 99.9% likely to be an Irish one. And even then, they're still very rare. So, yeah, original waffle stopper as well. That's really nice. And it's got it. And the other thing is, yeah, they never fit. They never fit. A lot of them are not fitted at all. But as I said, the fitting is vague. I mean, look at this. You can actually see if I can get it to focus. Come focus on it. There we go. You can see just a little bit of fitting, vague fitting, going around the stopper, but it's mainly just sitting on its haunches in the top of the bottle. So yeah, I love it because it's such a historical piece, made in Belfast, the root of all of our troubles for that kind of thing. We know who the maker is. It's commemorating a famous political act. So yeah, people don't know about it now, but we know everybody knows what the United Kingdom is. This is commemorating the creation of the United Kingdom. Before this bottle was made, the United Kingdom didn't exist. And I should point out as well, it was being sold as a Georgian decanter, Angel with a harp on. I was the only bidder. Yeah, if they'd known, they might have got quite a bit more for it than I paid. So I'm showing you another piece that's normally dated to 1800. I think I've seen them dated as 1805 as well. It's a little finger bowl, see, with a gilded Greek key pattern. And what makes this super special, so if you're a glass collector, you've heard the expression Bristol blue. Yes, and I can show you exactly where that expression comes from. Underneath this bowl, it actually says I. Jacobs, Bristol. Yeah, so he was the first English glassmaker to put his name on his wares, and he made blue glass. Yay! So cobalt was supposed to be coming in from Saxony into Bristol. Yeah, the port as in, and one of its uses was to make blue glass. And so that's what he was making. He was, so yeah, this is a real museum piece. It's actually written quite well. This was another eBay buy. I don't know why nobody seemed interested in it. It is right. I've seen other signatures in books, and this is the right signature. It's nicely worn and everything, but not too worn. The glass is actually, when you hold it up to the light, I'm not going to do that. The glass is as crap as you'd expect it to be from 1800. Yeah, it has quality issues, so I'm happy with that. The gilding is hand done, and it has very well done, but when you look at it very closely, you can see the slight wonk. You know, this is not a machine printed thing. And yeah, so Isaac Jacobs, interesting fact, Maker to the King, I think it was, because what he did was there was no what's the word? There were no royal warrants in those days. So what he did was he made a set of glasses or something, finger bowls or whatever it was. He made a set of glasses, shipped them to the king at no cost, and then he could write on all his advertising afterwards, Maker to the King, even though he was like giving him stuff for free. What a fantastic ploy. And yeah, and he was the first one to put his name on his glass so that people would know, yeah, this was made by him. You know who to go buy it from. So yeah, obviously quite into self-advertising, but it's a smart thing, isn't it? Very smart. You could almost see it sitting on a. If you would say this was made in the 1930s or the 50s or 60s or something like that, I don't think it would be modern, but you could see it sitting on some smart person's dinner table. People don't use finger bowls now, but up to the point where people stop using finger bowls, I think this would go very nicely because it's just a smart thing. So this is number 3 from the 1900. Oh no, what am I saying? Getting this right. From the 1800. Yes, 1800 or the 19th century. I always get struggle with that. Anyway, so why have I included this? This is probably my worst quality piece of glass. Yeah, it is shockingly bad. Shockingly bad. But I love it. I call it my crappy cruet. And I've got one stopper missing, one original. Look at the quality of that. It's fantastic, isn't it? But the thing to remember, this is over 150 years old. You know, when you compare it with something I bought the other day, here it is on the side here. That's from the same time period. Look at that. That's cut. All of these lozenges here, all the pillars are all cut. This is all cut. Yeah, this is all cut. This is not that. This is like the worst piece of glass that is blown so badly. I think they've used the same mould over and over again. They've amended it a little bit. There's absolutely no cutting. There's no proper finishing in this at all. Let me show you something. This is the lid of this. Look at that. Isn't that? And look at the big bit of frit just there. Look at that. Yeah. And another bit there. And full of bubbles and bits of rubbish. I mean, the bottle's not much better. Look at that big wedge of soot in the glass. That's in the glass. That's not washable. That is a big streak of soot in the glass. There's a bubble there. You can see the mould's a bit wonky. Broken pontle marks, so no polishing, no roughing, no anything. One. It's got little brass tops on these two bottles here, and well, one funny thing is that actually they fit as good as anything else. Although they haven't roughed that there. But yeah, you've got bubbles running around that as well. Wonkiness. Broken pontle again. Yeah, it is the absolute bollocks, this thing. And this one. No finishing here. No, you remember the one we were looking at where it was roughed? These do fit nicely and tightly, but yeah, on the one that we were looking at yesterday, this was even roughed to make it a bit more friction. These are just brass, so no attempt to do any plating. The others were copper plated. These are just brass. If I take all of the bits out, and I'll show you the state of the, just so you get an idea of the workmanship or lack of here. So why do I like this so much? This is a social statement. Someone had to have a cruet. Yeah, they had to have one. So this looks good, but it's just a little piece of cast metal, some bolts underneath. This looks like paper mache. You can see it's got a little bit of, basically, little bit of goldiness stuff stuck around it. But in actual fact, it's a piece of sawn wood. Yeah. So, and even then, there's bits of red paint got onto it somehow. And yeah, look at how well done that is. Look at this around the edge. Look at it. It's just. And look underneath there. It is so badly finished. There's no attention paid to the bits that you don't see at all. Normally, some things like this would be finished properly. This is not at all. Tiny spindle legs. You can see how thin the feet are because this one's crushed in. The others are okay. Bit dented apart from this one. This one's good, but the others are a bit dented, and that one's crushed in. But anyway, yeah, it's crap. But clearly, someone had to have a cruet. You know, from across the room, you would see there is a cruet on the table. I have achieved status of some kind, and that's what it was all about. The look, it's just the look. It kind of, you know, looks okay if you're looking from a long way away. Looks it's very gothic, very fashionable from the, I think this is fashionable from about like 1828, 1830. I've seen similar kind of patterns on cut glass ones with silver tops where I think they're 1828 or 18, I think it was about then. Yeah, that was like so smart that it was on eBay and it was hundreds. So with the full set and all cut nicely with Gothic arches, which is what these are. So yeah, very fashionable, but really rubbish. Just the look, you know, it's like a stage set piece, like one of those buildings where it's just the front, and from a long distance it looks like a building, but don't look underneath. Yeah, so I just really like it, just especially this pot, because that is the pits, you know, where they haven't even bothered to reheat that, get it finished. It is actually just sharp glass that's been broken off. They've reheated that bit, but then it's got all that soot in it, so it's blown now. Just get it finished and get it in the annealing oven and get it out. So yeah, that's number 3 in my favourite 18th century thing. And obviously this has got, I think I paid about £30 for it or something like that, and I don't think it's worth much more than that because it is rubbish. But to me, it's such a nice social statement. That's the word I'm looking for. It's got its own story. It sat on somebody's table who needed to have a cruet set. So here is number 4 out of my 19th century top 10. And yes, so what are these? These are Irish wine glasses from about 1810 or so. I have someone did say they don't think they're Irish, but on my website I've got 3 references and I probably could add a couple more, and I can't find any English ones, so that makes them Irish in my book. And they have this lovely fine hobnail band around the frieze there. That's between 2 other cut bands. You've got a little panel cutting, a little, it's like a barrel bowl shape. Not sure what you'd call that shape. Then it's got an annulated ring around the stem, and then polished pontil. Some of them have some condition area, and I thought I'd show you this. I know that Irish glassmakers had lots of issues with condition, and you can see, let's see if I can get it to focus on the, can you see there? A little something trapped, looks like a bit of clay from the pot or something trapped in the edge of the foot. And then on this one it also has a problem. This looks like it's got bits of soot or dirt or something trapped in the edge of the foot. Can you see there? Look at that. Yeah, so one of the things I've seen in the Irish glassmaker books is that they're always telling you that they've resolved their previous quality issues, so you know that there were quality issues. I don't know where these were made. I think probably Southern Ireland, but they're just so elegant and nice. I've had these nearly 30 years. I bought these in Portobello Road. I think I mentioned that in the first. I used to go down there, crack a dawn on a Friday, so you can buy, what's it, good title there, which means it doesn't matter where it came from, they're yours now. If you've paid for them there. It's the problem of the seller. The person's bought them, they're theirs, and that is it, no matter where they came from. Yeah, one of those ancient things. But anyway, I really like them, and yeah, I'm not in a rush to get rid of these. These are, well, you know, I've had them 30 years. They're mine. So, anything else to say about them? I think that's it. Also, they've got quite big feet. Look at their size. If you look at them, those feet are quite substantial. They're not all exactly the same size. The feet, the variation is minimal. So they've obviously had quality issues though with the feet. But anyway, yeah, I really like them, and they're mine now. So this is number 5, which is the last one for part 1 of my 19th century top 10. And why this kind of sort of ordinary looking carafe, it is a carafe. Look how many fingers I can get to the top. It's never had a stopper, but you might be noticing something about it, perspective, as my hand gets closer and closer to it. Yeah, so I will demonstrate it a different way. I've been down the cellar and I brought this up. Yeah, I reckon 2 of those will go in there. Yeah, it's huge. It's huge. This came off eBay. The person didn't tell you how big it was. And I looked at it and I was looking at what was next to it and I was thinking, I might be wrong, but I think that's huge. So, and I got it for £10 because, yeah, if it was just a sort of like, it's probably worth a bit more than £10 if it fitted a whole wine bottle. Okay, so still cheap, but the guy didn't know it was a Regency one, or William IV. It's about 1830s, but or George IV. You know, anyway, he didn't realise how old it was. It was just a carafe as far as he was concerned. Had it on for £10, and I was looking at that and thinking, it looks a bit wrong somehow. And yeah, when I got it, it's like a rugby ball. So yeah, I didn't even know such things existed. I've seen Magnum Decanters, they're very rare. Never seen a Magnum carafe, especially not this period. It's just unheard of. And it's a lot. I've never used it. dust has got on the bottom. I didn't bother cleaning it out. I'd give the outside a dust before I came in. But step cutting and these panel cuttings are very typical of the 1830s. It kind of slowly died out from then onwards. This panel cutting is very, you'll see this on decanters and things. So yeah, it's very of its age. I have quite a few carafes, and this is the biggest by a huge margin. So yeah, that's my find. Just because, you know, size matters, as they say. Just such an unusual thing. You know, if it was full, it would really challenge you. But then it's nice, and it's got a nice grippy neck, so at least that's something. So there we have it, my first 5 from my top 10 from the 19th century. Yes. So, and I haven't actually got into the second half of the century at all. So, in fact, for a couple, I barely stepped away from 1800. But I promise in the second half, I will get into the second half of the 19th century. And I've got some really nice things to show you. Yes. So, again, I didn't use any references, so there will be none in the description. And what else? Yes, please remember to like and subscribe. It really helps my channel. I'm trying to get to the magic 1,000. I'm squeezing my way slowly towards it, but I would like to get there in the end. It doesn't matter in a way, but just because. But anyway, so thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. There will be part 2, and then there will be the 20th century. So have a good night, and good night.